Let's talk a little bit about Florida politics. We're looking at the numbers here. Herman Cain is still doing quite well in Florida. I think this most recent poll shows him, this is Quinnipiac, shows him up at, he's at 27, Romney's at 21. That was taken a couple of days ago. Given what you've seen in recent days, and I kind of like everybody up there. I think ultimately this is going to come down to Romney and maybe one other person. But do you think it's important for someone who's going to be commander-in-chief during a campaign to exhibit knowledge on things like foreign policy and obviously questions about Arab Spring or Libya? How important is that?
No, I think it is important, and I also think it's a process. I mean, you have people running that have not dealt in the subject matter before, and I think they're evolving and learning as the important thing is that their values and their principles are in the right place, and if your values and your principles are good and they're right, then ultimately you're going to be given information, and smart people can reach intelligent conclusions on that, and that's ultimately what presidents do, is make decisions. So it is interesting to watch these candidates as they go through it, and I remind people all the time, I mean, for all the beating up that the candidates are getting on the Republican side, there were gaffes aplenty in the Democratic primary when Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden were part of the deal, and ultimately, that over the process and over time led to a nominee, and obviously they won. So I would say that it is important, and you want to see our candidates continue to grow and mature on these issues, and that's why they're having these debates, and that's why we're having these forums where they're being asked questions.
So you think that in a campaign you don't already have to be up to speed on major foreign policy and major economic issues, and
well,
it's okay to look like you're floundering in an interview? I mean, to me, this is the big leagues, right?
Well, here's it's less than ideal, because the reality of it is that the right and the left are not treated the same way by most of the media. So if a mistake like that were made by someone on the left, they'd probably get a little bit more of a pass than somebody on the right. That's my opinion.
Well, of course, you would never get a pass. You would never get a pass, but that's just, we know that, right?
Yeah,
so
but
we have to be.
But if you're running from the right, you know that going in, that your price of admission is a little higher, that your standard of scrutiny is going to be a little higher, and so you got to be prepared for those things. I think what we're going to watch now is how do candidates recover from these things. How do they come back from that and improve? And what you want to see is the next time around they actually have a much better answer, and they did their homework and they went back and took it seriously and evolved. And part of it, is in the instance of Herman Cain and his campaign is saying, I mean, they're tired. These guys are on the road 18, 20 hours a day. They're worn down, so we give them the benefit of doubt on that. But look, yes.
Well, Senator, 18, 20 hours a day. What do you think they're going to be working when they're president of the United States during a crisis?
I think that's why running for president is a process where people get scrutinized and you get put under pressure, and you see how people react to that. But what we need to look for now is, how do these candidates that, by their own admission, wish they had given a better answer, how do they deal with the issue the next time that it's asked?
He was asked. He was asked about it, though. Herman Cain, and again, I love Herman Cain. When Herman Cain was asked about this yesterday, when he was followed up later in the day, had time to recover and think, and look, everybody has brain freezes. I do all the time, but I'm not running for president. So later in the day, a reporter approached him. This is how it went down.
999.
Right.
That's what he said when he was asked, what happened with this Libya question. He answered with 999. So is that the way to handle it?
Well, I think he'll come up with a better answer. I know there's going to be a foreign policy debate next Tuesday. I think CNN is running a foreign policy, national security debate, and this issue is going to come up again. It's not going to go away. And I think by his own admission, his people would say he'll have a better answer, and I think he'll work on that. And I think I've seen him give it in the past. I think he's talked about it in the past. So, look, these guys, it's a tough thing to run for president. I think they knew that going in. I think they realize that now that they're in the middle of it. And my hope is that we're going to, at the end of the day, what I want is for us to have, I like all these guys and gals, and what I hope is at the end of the day, we're going to have a nominee that is a clear, effective alternative.
3 C's,
Obama.
Senator. Competency, clarity, and conservatism. Competency, clarity, and conservatism.
That's a good way to put it, and that's what we need to nominate. And if we do that, we're going to win, because the president can't run and win on his record. His record is dismal.
Marco, the only thing that we adore you, and the only thing that so far that you've said that I really have a problem with happened in an interview recently. Let's listen.
Is it true that you like rap?
Yeah, probably the stuff in the 90s, and even stuff now is pretty good. I get in trouble when I talk about that a little bit, because maybe I shouldn't listen to that anymore. But the music is good.
All I can say, Senator, is T-Pain.
T-Pain is more like he's a modern 2000. 8-9 guy. You know, I'm more. I mean, you know, look, I get it. I said I was going to get in trouble. I didn't realize.
I'm teasing you. It's fine. It's fine. It's no problem. It's fine. Come on. When I think of Marco Rubio with his earbuds in, I don't think of you and Lil Wayne. I just don't think of that. It doesn't come to my mind. But yeah, I like the fact that you.
I'm more like Jay-Z or you know,
okay.
who's almost. I mean, he's been out. He's 3 decades of work.
Yeah. So, he's like a senior citizen in the hip-hop world. Hey, we're just teasing you, Senator. We love having you on. Thank you so much.
All right, good. Thanks.
All right, you take care. Senator Marco Rubio on the Laura Ingraham Show.